Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to a news cycle on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Uyi Agmofwegbe, reminding our viewers that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and free to air on Nightcomsat. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has raised concerns about the aging pipeline infrastructure and operational inefficiencies, identifying them as key factors responsible for the decline in oil revenue during the third quarter of 2024, as a result of which it says it doubts the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited's projection of hitting daily 2 million per day barrel oil production. The Apex Bank, in its latest economic report, disclosed that oil revenue plunged by 24.72% to 1.30 trillion naira compared to 1.73 trillion naira recorded in the second quarter of the year. This figure also fell significantly short of the quarterly target by 75.39%, largely due to frequent shutdowns caused by deteriorating pipelines and installations. The Apex Bank report, however, warned that Nigeria's goal of achieving an oil production target of 2 million barrels per day by the end of this year remains under threat unless urgent measures are taken to address infrastructure and operational challenges. On a sad note, a fire incident at the Masaka Market in the Karu local government area of Nasarawa State has left many traders counting their losses. The fire reportedly started at about 10 p.m. yesterday and has left many of the traders devastated. Reports say traders lamented their losses, calling for government's intervention in the wake of their devastation, while scavengers ransacked the ruins in search of valuables. Quite a sad weekend there, apparently. A military veteran, Olumayowa Akogun Abudu, has raised the concerns about the alleged misappropriation and mismanagement of funds generated from the Nigerian Army emblem launch. Olumayowa, who is also the 2025 Ojo local government chairmanship aspirant in Lagos State, disclosed this and alleged that the Nigerian Legion, established to support veterans, has been compromised under the leadership of a certain Major General. He stated that civilians without prior military experience are joining the Legion and participating in events such as the Armed Forces Remembrance Day alongside actual veterans. The Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, has notified residents of the Federal Capital Territory about impending blackouts in some areas. In a statement issued by its General Manager of Public Affairs, Ndidi Mba, the company announced that its engineers would conduct planned maintenance exercises at 2 transmission substations between Saturday and Sunday. TCN also noted that during the maintenance period, Abuja Electricity Distribution Company will not be able to supply electricity to customers in Gwagwalada and its environs for 4 hours only. Some officers attached to Ogun State Police Command have been arrested for allegedly demanding money from the family of a missing girl before taking action on the case. Public Relations Officer for the Nigeria Police Force, Muyiwa Adejobi, disclosed this in a post on X. Although he did not reveal the identities of the officers involved, Adejobi stated that they were being held in detention for disciplinary action. The Nigeria Police Force has reiterated its stance against the misuse of the name of the Office of the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, by unprofessional officers in fraudulent activities. This is contained in a statement by Forces Public Relations Officer Muyiwa Adejobi. He expressed concern over the conduct of such officers whose actions, he said, continue to tarnish the reputation of the force and undermine public trust. In the meantime, the Nigeria Police Force has advised members of the public to report any misconduct by police officers to their superiors, the heads of the complaint response units in their states, or the Commissioner of Police in the command. This is contained in a statement signed by First Public Relations Officer ACP Muyiwa Adejobi. He warns the public to exercise caution when approached by officers or individuals claiming connections with the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, or any senior police officer for the purpose of exploitation. Adejobi therefore provided phone contacts where the public could lodge formal complaints against erring police officers. Mother of the former queen of the Oni of Ife, Fumilayo Ogunseyi, has disclosed that the excruciating experience of her daughter, Naomi Shikanola, after the stampede that claimed the lives of 35 children in Ibadan. She disclosed that her daughter is on hunger strike at the Agodi Correctional Facility in Ibadan. Naomi was sent to the facility after a chief magistrate court sitting in Iyangaku, Ibadan, ordered that she and others should be remanded over the deadly stampede which occurred on December 18 at a Christmas funfair in the state capital. Speaking in an interview, Ogunseyi explained her daughter's condition the last time she visited her, noting that she was not feeling fine. She further stressed that the Queen loves and helps children and is still in pain that those children lost their lives because of her intention that was pure. In a different development, human rights lawyer Femi Falana says the Nigerian police force should be held accountable for the deaths of Nigerians during the recent stampedes in Oyo, Abuja, and Anambra State. He made this statement while delivering a public lecture in memory of the late former governor of Ondo State, Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, in Akure, the state capital. The senior lawyer stated that the police had failed to fulfill their constitutional duties, leading to the deaths and injuries, and described the casualties as unacceptable. Falana called on government to compensate the families of those who lost loved ones due to these failures. The sector commander of the Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC, Anambra State, Corps Commander Joyce Alexander, has paid a courtesy visit to the Obi of Onitsha, His Royal Majesty Igwe Alfred Achebe. In a statement by the Sector Public Education Officer, FRSC Anambra State Command, Margaret Onabe, the sector commander emphasized the Corps' mission to reduce road traffic crashes and create a safe motoring environment. She expressed her gratitude for the warm reception, thanking the monarch for his ongoing support of the Corps in the state. Alexander stated that the collaboration with critical stakeholders and public enlightenment are key elements to ensure safer roads, especially during this festive season. The federal government says it will conduct a thorough investigation into the accidental bombing that killed 10 people in Gideon Bisa and Runtuwa villages of Silame local government area on Christmas Day. Minister of State for Defense Bello Matawale gave the assurance during a condolence visit to Sokoto State Governor Ahmed Aliyu. The government's assurance coincided with clarifications by Defense Headquarters that the death of 10 civilians in Gidambisa and Gida Runtuwa in Silame local government area of the state was as a result of a secondary explosion and not direct military airstrikes. Such a controversial story. Of course, Glo Television will follow that development for you. Residents of border communities in Sokoto State have dismissed allegations of the presence of French army in the area. This comes after the head of the military junta in Niger Republic, in a recently circulated video, accused President Bola Tinubu and some members of his administration of colluding with the French army to attack Niger. Reports have, however, confirmed that the allegations are baseless. Speaking to newsmen at his palace, the traditional ruler of Bale in Gudu local government area of Sokoto State, Aminu Aliyu, denied the existence of any foreign military camp in his territory. Niger's President Abdurrahman Chani is reportedly facing a backlash of criticism from his fellow countrymen following his recent allegation of a conspiracy by Nigeria against his country. This comes as many Nigerian citizens reacted to the president's allegations on social media, to Chani saying there is no credibility whatsoever in the allegations. Some of them are of the view that the Nigerian leader was only looking for an excuse to hang his failure in office after 17 months of ousting his predecessor, Mohamed Bazoum, in a palace coup. The presidency says the claims by the Nigerian leader of Niger Republic, Abdurrahman Chani, that Nigeria is colluding with France to destabilize his country are designed to create bad blood between northern Nigeria and President Bola Tinubu. Special advisor to the president on policy communication, Daniel Bwala, said this in a video posted on X page. Bwala said the claims are not only baseless propaganda, but designed to create chaos and incite bad blood in the northern part of the country against President Bola Tinubu, noting that Chinese choice of Hausa language of the north to convey his propaganda message laid credence to the fact that he is bent on waging war of words against the present administration. Let's turn to Delta State now, where the traditional ruler of Ogwashuku Kingdom, Obi Ifechikude Okonjo, has called on communities to respect court judgments concerning disputed lands. The monarch made this statement signed by the Palace Secretary, Prince Ifeanchuku Emodi, and made available to journalists in Asaba, the state capital. The youth from Obolo Okiti community in Anyocha South local government area of the state had staged a protest alleged land grabbing. The youth president of Obolo Okiti, Ifechikude Owamboebo, claimed that Ogwashuku Kingdom has unlawfully taken community land. You're watching a live broadcast of News Cycle here on Global Television, coming to you from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. When the rest of the news cycle returns, death toll in Brazil bridge collapse rises to 10. We have details of that sad development as well as business and sports stories for you shortly after this break. Please do stay with us. Thank you everyone for staying with us, and you're watching a live broadcast of News Cycle with Uyi Agmofwegwe, and this is Abuja, Nigeria's capital. Let's talk some business. Nigeria's imported food inflation surged to 42.29% in November of 2024. Now, this is according to the Consumer Price Index CPI report released by the National Bureau of Statistics, NBS. This represents a significant rise from 23.74% recorded in November of 2023, marking an 18.55 percentage point year-on-year increase. On a month-on-month basis, the inflation rate increased from 40.96% in October 2024, marking a 1.33 percentage point rise in just 1 month, which highlights the relentless upward trajectory of imported food inflation throughout 2024. Again, began at 26.29% in January. China's central bank says it has renewed a bilateral currency swap agreement with the Central Bank of Nigeria. The People's Bank of China said in a statement on its website that the total value of the agreement is 15 billion yuan, which is about $2.09 billion US dollars or 3.23 trillion naira. The development was confirmed by the Special Advisor, Information and Strategy to President Bola Tinubu, Bayo Onanuga. The statement further noted that the agreement is valid for 3 years and can be renewed upon mutual consent, adding that the renewal of the currency swap agreement will strengthen financial cooperation between China and Nigeria, as well as expand the use of the two currencies and promote as well as facilitate bilateral trade and investment. The Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, has promised to galvanize the Niger Delta Chambers of Commerce, Industry, Trade, Mines and Agriculture with 30 billion naira counterpart fund for the development of young entrepreneurs. NDDC Managing Director Dr. Samuel Oboku said this during an interview with newsmen at the Commission's headquarters in Port Harcourt, Rivers State capital. This was contained in a statement issued by NDDC Director of Corporate Affairs, Seledi Thompson Wakama. Ogboko restated the Commission's commitment to empowering the region's people through economic programs, as he highlighted the Commission's role in training youth, supporting SMEs, and designing industry-friendly skill development programs. And now, beyond the shores of Nigeria, U.S. President-elect Donald Trump has filed a brief urging the Supreme Court to pause a law that would ban TikTok the day before his January 20 inauguration if it is not sold by its Chinese owner, ByteDance. Trump's legal team said in light of the novelty and difficulty of this case, the court should consider staying the statutory deadline to grant more breathing space to address the issues. Trump was fiercely opposed to TikTok during his first term and tried in vain to ban the video app on national security grounds. The Republican voiced concerns echoed by political rivals that the Chinese government might tap into U.S. TikTok users' data or manipulate what they see on the platform. Authorities say the death toll after a bridge collapse in northern Brazil has increased to 10. The Juscelino Kubitschek, the Oliveira Bridge, which connects the states of Maranhão and Tocantins, collapsed on Sunday, sending vehicles and their occupants plunging into the water below. Now, the Brazilian Navy have been conducting rescues in the area, finding an additional body 6 kilometers, 3.7 miles from the accident site, and a second victim in the Tocantins River. More than 70 rescuers continued the search nearly a week after the collapse, using a hyperbaric chamber to allow divers to search depths of more than 30 meters, which is equivalent of 100 feet. Quite a devastating development there in the Americas. Let's turn to other stories for you now. Senior members of Canada's cabinet have held talks with U.S. President-elect Donald Trump's nominees to lead the Departments of Commerce and Interior as Ottawa works to hold off the threat of punishing tariffs. Canada's newly appointed Finance Minister Dominic LeBlanc and Foreign Minister Mélanie Joly met with Howard Lutnick, which is Trump's Commerce Secretary nominee, who will also lead the country's tariff and trade agenda. Interior Secretary nominee Doug Burgum was also at the meeting held at Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate in the state of Florida. And now time to bring you some excitement from the ever-exciting world of sports. United Kingdom publication has reported that English Premier League giants Arsenal have identified Nigeria international Samuel Chukwueze as a potential replacement for injured England international Bukayo Saka. Saka suffered a hamstring injury in Arsenal 5-1 win over Crystal Palace and is expected to be out of action for a significant period. Saka could now be absent for around 2 months, though the report notes that the England star would have required surgery had he turned his hamstring from the bone. A court has rejected Barcelona's appeal for the precautionary registration of Dani Olmo for the rest of the season. This means that the Spain international may not play for the club from January 1. 26-year-old Tarkin midfielder Olmo was signed from German side RB Leipzig for a reported 60 million euros, equivalent of 51 million pounds in August, but was registered only for the first half of the season as Barcelona could not meet La Liga's wage cap restrictions. La Liga welcomed the court's decision to reject the club's appeal. And now let's turn to tennis. Nick Kyrgios has lashed out at what he believes is the lenient treatment of world tennis #1 Italian Jannik Sinner for a failed drug test and said integrity in the sport was awful. Sinner twice tested positive for the banned steroid clusterball in March. However, the International Tennis Integrity Agency accepted his argument that the steroid entered his system due to contamination from his physiotherapy and opted not to suspend him. The World Anti-Doping Agency subsequently appealed the decision at the Court of Arbitration for Sports with a verdict pending. Kyrgios has been scathing about the International Tennis Integrity Agency decision in the past and did not hold back in a press conference ahead of his return to the game at the Brisbane International after an 18-month injury layoff. And that's a full circle here on the news. Came to you on Global Television, live in Abuja, Nigeria's capital. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365, Star Times 276, and free to air on Nightcomsat. We encourage all of our viewers to kindly follow and engage with us across social media platforms using @GlobalTVNG as well as other handles as you now see on your screen. I am Uyi Agbomofwegbe, thanking you very specially for watching. I will see you again.